All right, everyone. Today we must put our lawyer hats on. Yeah, if I was a lawyer, I would definitely wear this in court and it would be hysterical. I'm sure that my clients would be very appreciative of that, by the way. Link in the description, archived, of course. James Comey made a post the other day. He then took it down and apologized and played very coy, probably because he knew that Secret Service was going to interview him. He's in some shit because the backlash has been considerable. Any political capital that he had with anything other than the severest of Trump derangement syndrome sufferers is long since burned off over the last 48 hours, I assure you. That being said, it's nuance time. We are now lawyers at the moment. I do understand the rudiments of law, much more than the general population, because I have to do this shit for a living. Here's the problem. Liberal commentators are pretending that James Comey's explanation is relevant. Well, I had no idea what 8647 meant. I'll explain what it means in a moment. He knew full goddamn well what he was posting. To 86 means to remove, eliminate, annihilate, or kill, something along those lines. So, for example, if I tell you I'm going to 86 you, if you're my employee or something, it means I'm probably going to fire you. If you're just some random person on the street, you're probably expecting me to whip out a goddamn gun. As former FBI director, he does not have any realistic deniability with regards to his post. It quite clearly means either remove or kill Trump. Now, there's the problem. Well, there are two of them. The first problem, and he probably told this to the Secret Service, he can say, look, all I said was remove Trump. It means I want him impeached and removed from office. Ta-da! Case gone. The second problem is if you were to bring a case, like if Pam Bondi, the conservatives are probably stupid enough to do this, by the way. If you bring a case against him, he's going to say that same thing to the court and it will be dismissed out of hand and you'll look fucking stupid. Leave it up to the conservative movement probably to try to do so thereby. It's likely to happen because the Republicans they're getting outflanked by the Democrats in Loserville at the moment. The Democrats are in much more disarray, so the Republicans are scrambling to find something they can fuck up on. While I understand what the insinuation is, there is no way in a court of law to actually prove it. His message was, hey, look at this seashell formation I saw in the sand. And it says 8647. Then backlash ensues. And he says, well, I had no idea what that meant. We all know that that's a lie. James Comey knows that it's a lie. The liberals know it's a lie. The conservatives know it's a lie. Independent voters know it's a lie. His mom knows it's a lie. Everyone knows that it's a lie. He clearly was making a veiled threat. That being said, there is too much plausible deniability within that statement for it to be successfully prosecuted. You can drag him before a court, but then there'll be cross-examination and discovery and all of these other wonderful things. Yeah, the taxpayers have to stomach millions of dollars to prosecute someone that they damn well know is not going to see the inside of a jail cell for a goddamn Twitter post of this sort. It's never going to happen. There is no case. It doesn't matter if you hate James Comey. I dislike him considerably myself. It doesn't matter if you assume that this is a threat to assassinate him. Haha, I'm gonna 8647 and then get a couple of those FBI agents to magically disappear when the terrorist comes, or I'm gonna get somebody to stab him in the back literally, or whatever. You can assume that, and that would be a plausible assumption, but it wouldn't be a legally admissible assumption. That's the whole problem. Is what he posted absolutely abhorrent? Yes, absolutely. I don't think that he was insinuating removal from office as in simple like impeachment or something. He's the former FBI director. He knows full well what 86 generally means in common parlance. He's well aware of this shit. He wouldn't have used these particular numbers under any other circumstances. We're not stupid. We know what you were saying. Thankfully, there's a silver lining to this. He has outed the FBI as being potentially actively involved in attempting to kill Donald Trump. Now, Trump has been forewarned of this, although I suppose he probably suspected it to begin with. He needs to make sure that he very, very carefully tailors the FBI agents that are in proximity to him. Because the FBI has been known to assassinate people before. It's happened on a number of occasions. Martin Luther King. Anyway, uh, this is sort of the way things work. There is a dark network, an underbelly of the government, which operates mostly in silence and without the public's knowledge in many cases, that is not loyal to the United States of America. Nor do they give a shit about the functions of government in a general sense. They simply want to get paid and occasionally they whack somebody. They operate like a mafia, only with less dignity and grace than the Italian mafia, I will add, and probably not as good of food. Uh, I think I'd rather have mafia next door neighbors than an FBI agent as a next door neighbor. James Comey has stepped in it real big. He's getting blasted and withered on the public stage. That's the positive part. The negative part is that there's nothing that we can do about it in a legal sense. We know that he knows. He knows that he knows. But there's plausible deniability. He can say, look, that was a reference to removing him from office through impeachment. Well, there you go. There's your legal defense. This will stand up in a court. It would get dismissed instantly. It wouldn't go to trial. It wouldn't get beyond the pretrial motions. There would be a motion to dismiss, and his lawyer would say, look, 86 can mean remove. It doesn't mean kill. And maybe Comey didn't have any idea what it meant. I mean, the judge would probably laugh his or her ass off listening to such an argument pertinent to the former FBI director, but it can also mean other things. So it would be impossible to prosecute the case, I'm sad to say. Does James Comey deserve to be in a jail cell? In my opinion, based on other things than this, yes. For treason, for example. That being said, that's separate. It's a separate issue. This is not treason. The claim would be credible threat of violence, terroristic threats. But there's no direct threat. It doesn't even name Donald Trump by name. So the would be legally irrelevant. It would be excluded from evidence even if you did proceed to trial. Well, then you don't have anything. You have he said, she said, I suppose, more than anything else. That's about all. Peace out.